A very good morning, a very good Sunday morning as you join us for race 3, round 2 of the 2025 Italian F4 Championship. A beautiful springtime morning north of the Italian capital of Rome. Nice to have your company here this morning. 40 cars here for the second round of the weekend. 4 races. We've divided the first 3 into groups. Such is the track capacity. It has been exceeded. And for the second time this weekend, to the bottom left of your screen, the Romanian David Cosma-Christopher will lead the field away from pole position. So far, Kim Nakamura-Berta has been absolutely dominant with the first 2 races of the weekend, but it's also a race of the rookies, and we're about to speak to one of them, Dante Vinci from Australia.
Dante, a rookie podium in the almost fastest lap yesterday. So what are you hoping for this morning?
I mean, I'm very happy to walk away yesterday with P10 and the rookie podium. Obviously, the pace is there, so the starting position doesn't really resemble that, but we can definitely make a lot of positions in today's race.
Thank you.
Dante Vinci from Sydney, Australia. Rookie podium yesterday, was fastest on circuit, fastest lap right up until the very final moments, and missed that record, or the fastest lap for race 2 yesterday, by just 0.06 of a second. Starting right behind him is the 2023 World Karting Champion, Kirill Kudzkov.
Kirill, first points of the season yesterday. How can you repeat that today?
Yeah, it was a really great performance yesterday. Managed to get some points for me and for the team. So yeah, hopefully we can repeat it today. So that's the minimum aim, to get to the points, and maximum is to gain as much positions as possible.
Good luck.
A super talent is Super Kudzkov, the 2023 World Champion for the Maffei Racing Team. Highly professional, yet young outfit from north of the border in Switzerland. First points of the season for Maffei Racing yesterday. A tough start at Misano. They've made up for that, and they hope to make up for that this morning. DCC, again on pole position, Luca Samalisto, the Finn out of grid 2. Olivieri, 2 podiums at Misano, starts out at 3. And Maxim Rem from Germany out of grid 4. Sebastian Weldon, the American who won first time out at Misano, out of grid 5, alongside the impressive Norwegian Marcus Sata. His teammate Max Popov on the podium at Misano, and 6th in race 2 yesterday. And Teo Schrott from Buenos Aires in Argentina out of grid 8. We just heard from Dante Vinci. He starts out of grid 9 alongside the Jamaican Alex Powell and Kirill Kudzkov. Emily Cotti, the New Zealander, or the Brit, or the British Kiwi, whichever day of the week suits. She starts 1 position just ahead of Savinkov. That's Alexander Cornelia. As our grid actually, we'll get back to that in a moment. Emily Cotti starting ahead of Savinkov. Ruta Alexander starting ahead of Guy Elbag. Alexander Bondarev. Tough run for the Ukrainian in qualifying. Jan Kola, Bart Harrison, Elia Weiss for Cram Motorsport only made it 100 metres yesterday. And the German from München starts ahead of Bader Al-Solati. Peyton Westcott, the Californian, Andrea Dupe, Luca Visoriano, Emir Tanju, Francesco Coppola for the Techno Race Team, Cornelia Olkutska, a DNF for her yesterday. The pole, she starts out of grid 26, and Phil Strange, centre right of your screen for the AS Motorsport Team out of grid 27. So this is race A versus C here this morning. David Cosma-Christopher to the bottom left of your screen. Pole position in a wet qualifying on Friday afternoon. First Romanian driver ever to take pole position. A nervous start yesterday. He admitted it as much to us on Friday evening when he went grid 1 on a drying track in the rain. Only his 5th ever car racing event. Multiple WSK kart racing champion. Grid 1 once again for the PHM Racing Team. To his right, Lucas Samalisto. Well, the Finn was looking at P3 in a podium in race 1 yesterday, and then just understeered into the wall, down into the hairpin, throwing away an almost certain podium. Fastest lap of the race, but a DNF. Watch Lucas Samalisto. That is he to the right of your screen from Finland. The US Racing Team driver. The 30-second board goes up. 25 minutes plus 1 lap. The green flag flies. And the 1.4 litre turbocharged Abarth engines fire into life, with the exception of Maxim Rem, who's stalled from the second row of the grid. He's not the only one, because Maximilian Popov, well, he now gets underway, but Maxim Rem from grid 4 has gone nowhere. Maxim Rem, Us Racing, grid 4 has stalled on the grid as Cosmo Christopher leads the field down. This is Maxim, still stationary on the grid, the visor open for the German. Maxim Rem stalled on the grid. This is not a good start for the highly rated young German, for the German team of Us Racing. Maxim Rem from grid 4, unlikely to start in that position now. Back of the pack if he gets going any second. Otherwise, it is from pit lane. A disastrous start to the morning for Maxim Rem. From grid 4, he's stalled and goes nowhere. So the field make their way up through turn 10. Beautiful conditions here this morning. You can see Sunday, the 25th of May. Springtime here in Italy. The second round of 7. The 2025 championship. Maxim Rem pushed away to pit lane. So the Us Racing team will go to work and try and get Maxim into the race, albeit from pit lane and effectively grid 27. Dante Vinci going through car 66. So the Van Amersfoort Racing drivers, 6, 7 and 9 on the grid. PHM Racing with David Cosman Christopher. That was Alex Powell going through. Tough start for the Jamaican, who was the rookie champion of the year, the Mercedes-AMG Junior. New team for 2025 after he raced red and white in 2024. Now with the French RACE-GP team. Alex Powell just ahead of Kirill Kutskov. This is the pole sitter, a slow getaway, understandably, for the young rookie from Romania. Grid 1 for DCC for race 3 here this morning. Lucas Samalisto will not make the same mistake twice. There's Strange for AS Motorsport. That's Phil in car 95. Starting out of grid 27, it effectively becomes grid 26. With Maxim Rem in pit lane. The RACE-GP team. Cosmo Christopher to the left of your screen. Race 3 here this morning. The green flag flies at the back of the grid. The 5 red lights. DCC on pole position. We race. Better getaway this morning for Cosmo Christopher, but it's Lucas Samalisto who launches in the lead from the outside of the front row of the grid. Cosmo Christopher back into 3rd place. Olivieri, the United Arab Emirates Formula 4 champion to start 2025, up into position 2. Luca leads. Samalisto down into chimney 1 around the outside. Olivieri tries to take the fin for the lead. He's almost done it. What a move. The Italian goes through, takes the fin for position 1. Olivieri leads for the first time in the 2025 Italian Championship. On the outside, oh, he goes in deep. Olivieri locks up. Marcus Sata with a superb start. Cosmo Christopher better than yesterday in position 4 as the field go down into turn 10 for the first time. Luca back into the lead. Around the outside, the first of the Van Amersfoort Racing drivers, 67, Marcus Sata, the young Norwegian rookie. There's Kutskov. Also, Sebastian Weldon, the yellow and black machine, already making up a couple of positions. Here's the American into Samaforo for the first time. Lucas Samalisto with the race lead. Sebastian Weldon around the outside. And the first of the Jensen Motorsport cars, Teo Schropp in car 21. We're about to complete the first lap relatively cleanly. as they come through La Curva Roma for the first time here this morning. Luca Samalisto takes the race lead. As we check the order, he's trying to break the slipstream already. Back to Olivieri, who was briefly into the race lead. Down into Chimney 1. Trying to break the slipstream. Olivieri, only one of 3 Italian drivers in the National Series on the outside. Luca Samalisto puts car 7 in the middle of the circuit. Here comes Sebastian Weldon, who had a fantastic battle yesterday with King Nakamura Berta. Up into position 3, Sata superb. And a great start by the Jamaican. We know the Mercedes-AMG Junior is a world-class talent, and he's fighting for the podium in the early stages of race 3 here this morning. The RSGP drivers 3 and 5. Lucas Amalisto leads for the US racing team as Sata goes off the road. Weldon around the outside. Weldon, can he take the lead? What a move by Sebastian. All the way from the USA, the Andretti Junior driver goes through to take the lead in the early stages of race 3 here this morning. A fantastic pass. The RSGP drivers 3 and 4. Slight contact there with Samalisto. Olivieri loses the place to his teammates as they come out of Semaforo. So Samalisto, Olivieri on the inside. He becomes the outside now. The Van Amersfoort Racing duo, a trio I should say, of Sata Popov and Dante Vinci. Sebastian launching into the lead, and look at that already after just 2 laps. Sebastian Weldon 1 second clear. There's Dante Vinci. Just behind Teo Schroff from Argentina. Bart Harrison, better start for the Brit here this morning. And Alexander Savinkov, the Ukrainian from the Russian. Ruta up into P12 from Kosman Christopher, Bondrev, Dupe, and Kohler 2 wide, 3 wide down the inside. RSGP on the inside and on the outside of Lucas Samalisto. Sebastian has left the building. Olivieri and Samalisto just a few moments ago. Sebastian Weldon has disappeared into the distance. The American is racing away as we have one of the US racing drivers go around. It looks to be Samalisto. No, again. Dante Vinci also going off track. Lucas Samalisto, no surprise to see Sebastian Weldon is dominating here, fastest on circuit. Lucas Samalisto turning around at that corner right there 1 lap ago. Into the wall in race 1 yesterday. Early race leader, but has now dropped right down the order. Here's Savinkov going on through. This is what happened just a few moments ago. Samalisto. Oh, he was helped. Clear contact from, well, let's just say it was an RSGP driver. It was the Italian, and that incident has been noted by race control. Olivieri, early race leader. As we see Kosman Christopher onto the gravel coming out of Curva Roma. He was helped. Good start from Elio Weiss just behind, ahead of Emily Cotti and Francesco Coppola for the Techno race team. Lucas Samalisto, race leader, falls right down to the bottom of the order. Contact with Olivieri. Sebastian again, he is streeting the field. The gap almost 3 seconds. So we'll take stock. It is the 2 American-born drivers. Sebastian Weldon from the Jamaican sensation. This is much better than from Alex here this morning. A world-class talent. That's why he's a Mercedes-AMG Junior. He's in 2nd place. From Sata, Teo Schropp up into P4 for the Jensen Motorsport team. There's the Argentine just ahead of Popov. Olivieri, Kutzkov, and a massive crash in the background. Savinkov, Amir Tanju. A monstrous crash. In fact, it's Guy Elbag in the other RSGP car, safety car, out onto the circuit. Amir Tanju from Turkey, Guy Elbag from Israel come together. The safety car comes out onto the circuit. So the enormous lead that Sebastian Weldon had established after just 4 laps will instantly disintegrate. A monstrous crash between the Turk and the Israeli, Amir Tanju and Guy Elbag. Weldon is the race leader as we see the second American, Peyton Westcott, pulling into pit lane. That was her in the background, the Californian, as is Francesco Coppola for the Techno race team. This just a few moments ago, coming out of turn 10, sideways from Coppola. So he only loses the front wing. Fortunate is the Napolitano driver to get away with that. He pulls into pit lane. Peyton Westcott also with a damaged front wing. Watch this to the top right of your screen. Sideways into the gravel. Launching Amir Tanju with nowhere to go. Guy Elbag was taking avoiding action also. And it looks as though it was Trench. The innocent victim also. Francesco Coppola, the Techno race team from Naples, go down to work in pit lane. Peyton Westcott, also the Californian. Back into the race is Peyton. One of 3 women drivers racing in the series here this weekend, along with Cornelia and Emily Cotti. Emily's moved up, in fact. The Kiwi Brit inside. She's in 16th place, in fact. 18th place, just behind Jan Kohler. Francesco Coppola, left rear into the grass on the exit of turn 10. Amir Tanju, Guy Elbag, and Strange, the innocent victims in that incident. So Sebastian Weldon, the race leader from Alex Powell. Here's Cornelia going through. Olkutska, look at the debris on the circuit. Amir Tanju's car to the right for the Viola Formula Racing team. There's Guy Elbag's car. This will be a long safety car. Just getting back to that first or second lap incident between Luca Samalisto and Emanuele Olivieri. That incident is now under investigation by the stewards. Olivieri helping Samalisto around. He's still circulating in 21st position. Alexander Savinkov, the Ukrainian, 52 for RSGP. His teammate in second place. But Sebastian Weldon leads the way. Another look at this incident, just slightly into the grass. The left rear goes off. Francesco Coppola and Amir Tanju. Well, the Viola Formula Racing car resembles a Cessna light aircraft there for a moment. Guy Elbag off the road. Optimistically, Guy's car doesn't look too damaged. He's certainly out of the race. Left rear and the rear wing taken off the car. So the order is Sebastian Weldon, Alex Powell, Marcus Sata, into P3 outright. Superb from the young Norwegian rookie. Maximilian Popov, Theo Schropp. There's the Argentine for Jensen Motorsport. Quite a history between the Swiss team and the Argentinian drivers. Theo in P5 and of course Marcus Siebert back in 2016. The driver from Mar del Plata in Argentina winning outright the 2016 Italian F4 Championship. Olivieri in 68 in P6, under investigation though for that second lap incident with Luca Samalisto. Ruta, Savinkov and Bart Harrison also for Jensen Motorsport in P10. Dupe Dante Vinci's dropped back to 12. Up to 13th now, Luca Vistoriano for the Real Racing team. Better run for Luca. Head of Bondarev. Weiss, Elia from Bavaria for the Grand Motorsport team, ahead of Al Solati from Qatar. Kohler, Emily Cotti, David Cosma Christopher down in 19th. There's the pole sitter going through, head of Strange. Samalisto in 21st position from Cornelia Olkutska. Peyton Westcott, she's in 23rd place after rejoining after pitting with a new front wing. Here's Popov going through in car 3. Francesco Coppola, the final runner, also making a pit stop. The Techno race team putting a new front wing on car 87. And the Italian, one of just 3 Italians in the National Series, is the final runner down in 24th place. Rem did not start the race, remember, stalled from the grid could not get car 71 fired back up. And just a few moments ago, a monstrous crash, well, a spectacular crash between Amir Tanju and Guy Albag. Kutskov in position 7. One more lap behind the safety car, and then we'll go green for race 3 here this morning. The final this afternoon at 3:30 local time. Forty drivers vying for 36 positions on the grid. 4 will miss the cut. It won't be a problem for round 3 at Monza on June 22. 51 is the car track capacity at the home of the Italian Formula 1 Grand Prix. That's round 3 of the series. In June 22, before we go to Mugello, home of the Tuscan Formula 1 Grand Prix, for round 4, the first weekend of August, at the home of the Emilia-Romagna Formula 1 Grand Prix. At Imola, round 6 after the summer break at Barcelona on September 21. And the series final, back where we started the 12th season of the Italian F4 Championship, October 12 at Il Circuito Marco Simoncelli, simply known as Misano. So the safety car, as you can see, will come in at the end of this lap. Sebastian Weldon with a lead, an enormous lead of 2.8 seconds after just 3 laps. He's now just 0.3 of a second ahead of Alex Powell. Great to see Alex back in form. It's been a tough start to last year's rookie champion. Bart Harrison from England going through for Jensen Motorsport, who have 2 cars now inside the top 10. There's the Argentine, Teo Schropp from Buenos Aires in Argentina. Head of Olivieri, P6, who's under investigation. That's Kirill Kutskov in 31 from Alexander Ruta. The first pole in P8 from Savinkov and Bart Harrison in P10. Green next time round. The lights are off on the Urus safety car. Sebastian Weldon, the Andretti Junior driver. As we wish the best of luck to Robert Schwartzman, starting on pole position for tonight's Indianapolis 500 for the Prema Racing team. Devlin Di Francesco also in the field, as is Marcus Armstrong, the 2017 Italian F4 champion, lining up on grid 32 tonight in Indiana for the Meyer Shank Racing team. Into La Curva Roma, and the green flag flies now. Sebastian Weldon with the Jamaican right behind him. 10 minutes plus 1 lap remaining in race 3 here this morning. Powell, great restart, tries to get the slipstream, almost does, pop off on the back of his teammate. Sata, Marcus on the outright podium. This is superb from the young Norwegian further back in the pack. Dante Vinci fighting with Andrea Dupe. Vis Soriano close to the points. The Van Amersfoort Racing duo side by side. Popov and Sata. It's still Marcus who holds the place. Sebastian Weldon being hounded now by Alex Powell. Popov has now gone through. And watch, just in the background, Teo Schropp around the outside. Olivieri tries to get back up onto the podium. Alex Powell for R-Race GP trying to take his first race victory of the year as we see one of the Prema Racing drivers. It's Bondarev treacherously off into the grass. Brings it back on the circuit. Does the Williams F1 Academy drivers. Had a quiet run so far this weekend. Alexander Bondarev, one of the multiple drivers caught out in wet conditions in qualifying on Friday night. Bondarev trying to at least get inside the top 10. Good try just behind him from Elia Weiss as we see Kutskov under attack from the Ukrainian Savinkov. Kirill Kutskov holds the place, looking at a second top 10 finish here this morning. Vinci off into the grass. It is still Sebastian Weldon now just from Alex Powell. Francesco Coppola, the Techno race driver, after making that pit stop, is back into the race. We'll check the gap. 0.7 of a second last time. 0.8 now between Sebastian Weldon, who's pulling away. He put on a brilliant race yesterday with Kin Nakamura Berta. It was world class. He's got superb speed. The Andretti Junior driver. So we see Alexander Ruta. Dante Vinci just ahead. There's Teo Schropp going through. Off into the grass. Into the gravel, I should say. The Van Amersfoort Racing Team driver and still the VAR drivers. They're now being split by Olivieri, who's got superb speed. Bart Harrison down the inside. VAR drivers are ubiquitous here. Ruta, Alexander is in P9, Vinci in P11, and 3 and 5 with Maximilian Popov looking at his third podium so far of 2025, and the super impressive young Norwegian rookie, Marcus Sata. Sebastian Weldon controls the pace out front as the Andretti junior driver. First race victory of the year, Sebastian took at Misano, the very first race of the 2025 season. A tough start behind for Alex Powell, but he's got good form here this morning. The Mercedes AMG Junior. Alex Powell, remember, came from Grid 10. He's now up into second place as the field go down through the chicane. Sebastian from Alex, Maximilian third. Olivieri P4 now, looking good, the second R-Race GP driver. But remember, Emanuele Olivieri is under investigation for that second lap incident with Luca Samalisto, who is still circulating but way down in 18th place. Olivieri almost into the 134s now. Great run to see Kirill Kutskov in P7 for the Murphy Racing Team. Denny and Chris Murphy, the team with their roots in the heart of Africa in Addis Ababa, modern-day Ethiopia, formerly known as Abyssinia, formerly an Italian state. And Kirill Kutskov for the Murphy Racing Team in P7. Olivieri a few places ahead. Well, it won't matter where Emanuele finishes the race. You can see he will drop 25 seconds down the order. That will put him down as it stands in 23rd position. Just over 6 minutes remaining. There's Al Solati. The Qatari driver has been impressive on debut, has Bader, 2023 Qatari kart racing champion for the Gensa Motorsport team, backed by the Qatari Motorsport Federation. There's Savinkov going through in 52. Alexander behind Kirill Kutskov. Ruta in P9, Bart Harrison still there in P10. So Sebastian Weldon, the gap stays at 0.7 of a second for the moment. So we go into the closing stages of the third race this weekend, heading for this afternoon's final. Weldon, Sebastian came to this, the second round of the series, second in the series on 53 points to Kin Nakamura-Berta, who has already taken 5 victories in the 2025 championship. This is Kutskov going on through. Kirill, great drive for the Murphy Racing Team. They had a tough start at Misano with a couple of drivers not even making the final. Kirill Kutskov, though, in the points yesterday and now running P7 here this morning. Peyton Westcott already losing the front wing. Let's hope that was a replay from earlier on. Peyton Westcott still circulating. Car 94 in 23rd position. We'll just check to see if she stays out on track. The girl from Laguna Beach, south of Los Angeles, as we look at Al Solati. About to be passed, though. Bader. Lucas Samalisto making up at least one place. Lucas Samalisto was into the wall yesterday. If you missed race 1 yesterday, just understeering off into the grass, into the slowest corner on the circuit, the slowest corner in the championship, in fact, which is coming up right now. Lucas Samalisto, a DNF right there yesterday, throwing away an almost certain podium. Contact with Olivieri. Emanuele is going through in position 4, but a 25-second penalty will put the top Italian way down the field. Alex Powell still in second place from Popov. And the already penalised Emanuele Olivieri trying to minimise the damage. Here's the United Arab Emirates Formula 4 champion. This is Alex going on through the Mercedes AMG Junior. The Jamaican looking at his first podium of the year. Remember, his first race in 2024 at Misano. Finished second in all 3 races to the ultimate champion, Freddie Slater, in 2024. As we see a move down the inside, Olivieri goes on through. On Marcus Sata, you have to think that the Van Amersfoort Racing Team were on the radio then telling Marcus, let him go. He's got a 25-second penalty. Marcus Sata, superb, is the Norwegian. He's still effectively in 4th place in the race, and the top rookie, A brilliant run here this morning as we see Kirill Kutskov under attack from Savinkov. In the background is Alexander Ruta. Superb from the pole, inside the points, and Bondarev. Alexander, the Williams F1 Academy Junior, has worked his way into the points, inside the top 10 at the expense of Dante Vinci. Ruta off ever so slightly. Position 9 is about to lose another place here, you would think. Kirill Kutskov escapes clear. He comes Bondi in the background. Great recovery from Alexander. He's on the back of Savinkov, tries the outside. Ruta, so close. Surely there was ever so slight contact there from Savinkov. Superb pass. Bondi around the outside of Savinkov. 1.5 Ukrainian drivers behind the pole, and Alexander Bondarev, a brilliant move on the slowest corner on the circuit. Savinkov slightly into the back of Ruta. The front wing so close to being dislodged. Alexander Bondarev taking advantage of that and goes through. He's now inside the points. Weldon maintains the lead. In fact, it's growing now to 1.6 seconds. Just flashing by. And then Powell, Olivieri, the RA's GP teammates. Olivieri with that 25-second penalty. Popov, Sata, Teo Schrock, Kirill Kutskov, Ruta Bondarev. There's Dante Vinci, Savinkov, Bart Harrison going through. Luca Vistoriano, much better from the Romanian here this morning. After a lowly 18th place finish yesterday, the Real Racing driver, just with one car here this weekend. Very professional team, Real Racing. Massive experience over the best part of 3 decades for Konstantin's team. WSK World Karting, also Formula 3 back in the early 2000s, and now joining us for their second year in the Italian F4 Championship. Single driver, Luca Vistoriano, not far outside the points, just coming into the Semaforo now as Sebastian heads up into La Curva Roma. So surely 2 laps remaining at the end of this. He'll cross the line before the 25-minute board. Comes across the line now to start lap 14 to Sebastian Weldon, the RSGP team, who finished 1-2 in the season opening United Arab Emirates Formula 4 Championship. Olivieri taking the title from Alex Powell. But here this morning, it's the Jamaican from the top Italian who has got that 25-second penalty. Pop off. In the background from Marcus Sata, the top rookie, the second rookie is Kirill Kutskov, and Alexander Ruta in 3rd place. That's the rookie race. Sebastian up into turn 10. Almost certainly will start from the front row of the grid for the final this afternoon. Kin Nakamura Berta, this is provisional, so put an asterisk beside this statement. We'll start from pole position as Kutskov under attack. Bondi around the outside. Alexander tries to take both Van Amersfoort Racing drivers. Dante Vinci now inside the top 10, but loses the place to the Ukrainian. Alexander up the inside. Vinci tries to take Alexander back. Fantastic racing here. And the Australian takes back the place from the Ukrainian. Kutskov still holds P7 for the Swiss Mafia Racing team. Great drive, great defense from Kirill Kutskov. A world-class talent. He is the 2023 World Kart Racing Champion. Van Amersfoort Racing duo just behind. Kutskov under attack from Ruta, who tries the inside. Alexander, Kirill gives him space. Alexander, he chose the outside line there. He chose to try and make the move. If it did not pay off, that would not have been Kirill Kutskov's fault. As Sebastian Weldon heads down into Curvone, the fastest part of the circuit, topping near on 230 kilometers an hour. An ambitious pass for Alexander Ruta. It was worth the try. Kirill gave him space, ran out of road on the exit. Kutskov holds P7 from Ruta, who's just been passed now by Vinci. Dante back into P8. And Bart Harrison has taken back position 10 from Alexander Bondarev, who falls outside the points. The last lap of race 3 here this morning, the RACE GP duo. You don't expect that Olivieri will make a pass on Alex Powell. If he does, it will be futile. And Maximilian Popov, fourth on the road, but third in the race because Olivieri, with a 25-second penalty, will drop down to 22nd position. Sebastian Weldon on track for his second race victory of 2025 into Samaforo for the final time. The Andretti junior driver goes up through the chicane. He will win here this morning and start somewhere near the front of the grid for the final this afternoon. The Andretti junior driver for the Prema Racing Team into La Curva Roma for the final time. The checkered flag is about to wave all the way from the USA. Sebastian absolutely smashes the field here this morning. Weldon wins, Powell second. Olivieri crosses the line in third place, but will drop down to outside the top 20 with that 25-second penalty. Popov on the podium. Marcus Sata, brilliant for the Norwegian. P4 and the top rookie home. Sebastian Weldon, fastest lap of the race, a 1:35.039 on his final tour of this 4,085-metre Vallelunga circuit. Weldon wins here at Vallelunga. Powell in second place. And Maximilian Popov on the podium once again in 2025. Sebastian Weldon drives with an electric flair. He's got a brilliant, exciting style about him. We saw that yesterday when he went wheel to wheel over the best part of 25 minutes with Kin Nakamura Berta. It was a brilliant duel between the two Prema Racing drivers. Kin taking victory in races 1 and 2 here this morning. He'll line up on the front row of the grid this afternoon for the final at 3:30 local time here at Vallelunga. Almost certainly will be joined by his teammate representing Andretti Global, Sebastian Weldon, who takes victory for the second time in 2025. So exciting to watch. He's got a very distinctive driving style. Absolutely class. 4 victories last year on the road to Indy, the United States Formula 2000 Series. Drives back to pit lane, trying to pick up as much debris on those new compound Pirelli tyres, as David De Rosa told us yesterday. Comes back into pit lane as a race winner once again. Alex Powell on the podium in second place. Back on track is the Jamaican, and Maximilian for Van Amersfoort Racing. Car 3 on your screen on the podium in third place. Marcus Sata. Wow, Marcus has taken victory in the rookie race from Kirill Kutzkov, and Alexander Ruta as well on the rookie podium in third place and 7th outright. This is the pole. Inside the top 10, 7th in fact. Kirill Kutzkov, Murphy Racing just a place ahead in 6th. Sebastian Weldon wins again. The Jamaican Alex Powell second, and Popov in third place. Marcus Sata 4th outright. That's brilliant from the Norwegian, and the rookie win. Teo Schropp. What about some credit for the Argentine for Jensen Motorsport? P5 outright. Kutzkov for Murphy Racing. Ruta, Vinci, Bart Harrison, Luca Visoriano. Well, he was despondent, as was the team yesterday after race 2. They'll be celebrating that point. Much better drive for Luca Visoriano. The Real Racing team, they will be a force in the future, and they've taken the final point. Luca inside the top 10. Perhaps the secret is they've got the best catering in the paddock. I probably shouldn't have told you that. Certainly the best coffee machines. Luca Visoriano inside the top 10 here this morning. Heads home, Alexander Bondarev, Dupe, Samalisto does recover for 13th position. Unstoppable here this morning is Sebastian Weldon. The Andretti American driver steps out of the Prema Racing car in the same colours, which Colton Herter will take to the grid in tonight's Indianapolis 500. The Gamebridge driver from Florida, victory again in 2025. Nicky Kadai, team manager for the Prema Racing F4 team. the legendary Angelo Rossin, who founded Prema Racing back in 1983. On the podium for the third time in 2025 for the Van Amersfoort Racing Team, Maximilian Popov. Second place for the Jamaican sensation. Back on track in 2025, the Mercedes-AMG Junior for RSGP, but Sebastian Weldon was unstoppable here this morning, and we're about to hear from the race winner, who's with Lauda.
Well, you're doing very well, an impressive pace yesterday and the dominator over the race this morning.
Yeah, it was a really good race. The start on the initial release wasn't great, but I stayed calm and there was a bit of chaos in turn 7, and I was able to come out P3 and then just keep chipping away at the end of the race.
Waiting for the final match.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully I get a good start for race 3, and yeah, I can't thank Prema enough for everything they've done, and let's see what we can do in race 3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Susie, your boy did well. Yes, as Lauda says, waiting for the final match. Kick off at 3:30 local time here this afternoon as we look at the highlights from race 2 here this morning. Remember, Maxim Rem stalled on the formation lap, did not get away. David Cosma Christopher falling back to third place. A better start for the Romanian this morning, but ultimately would finish outside the top 10 as Luca Samalisto launched into the lead from the outside front row of the grid. Emanuele Olivieri, the Italian, leading for the first time in the 2025 championship, and looked as though he'd be a contender for the race win. Teo Schrupp making his way through, then this massive crash. Coppola into the grass, avoiding action from Emir Tanjul and Guy Albag. They were both eliminated. Coppola actually did finish a commendable position 19. Olivieri and Samalisto were coming together. Savinkov into the back of Alexander Ruta as Bondarev around the outside into the top 10, but would fall out of it as the checkered flag waved twice for Sebastian Weldon in 2025, and the American wins here in Rome. So the grid has provisionally, unofficially been decided for this afternoon's final. That's at 3:30 local time. 40 drivers from 27 nations around the world. For round 2 of the championship, 36 to line up on the grid. So it's a nervous wait for 4 drivers to see if they will even make the grid for this afternoon's 4th and final race here in Rome. It won't be a problem at Monza, where the track capacity is over 50 cars. The podium for race 3 here this morning, third podium of the year for Maximilian Popov, the son of a Top Gun, literally, in P3, the Jamaican sensation. Great to see Alex back in form here this morning. The Mercedes-AMG Junior, P2 for the RSGP team, and the Andretti Junior for the Prema Racing team. Sebastian Weldon wins again here in Italy.
La seconda per Alex Powell, il vincitore Sebastian Weldon, e per il team Prema Racing.
The drivers from Grenada, Jamaica and the United States, 3, 2 and 1 on the podium here this morning in Rome. God bless the United States of America, the most famous national anthem in world sports. Rings out once again here in Rome. Sebastian Weldon takes victory in race 3 here this morning. So we've effectively decided the grid. They will have to be mean to stop Keen. Nakamura Berta will line up on the front row of the grid, likely to be joined, or very closely, by Sebastian Weldon. Thanks, boys, for giving us that smile. We hope you can join us for race 3, race 4, in fact, the final round of the Italian F4 Championship at 3:30 this afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed this morning's race 3. We'll see you for race 3, the final, at 3:30 this afternoon, live from Vallelunga here in Rome.